はい、それでは、クラスのクイズから、始めたいと思います。皆さんどうぞ、そのまま、飲み食いをしつつ、
So I'm going to speak in English. So thank you very much for coming to the presentation. I'm Yu Kanazawa, a doctoral student at Komatsu University and also English lecturer at Komatsu University and Otomo University. And today I'd like to present about 3D Imaginizer, an easy to make dedicated electronic picture slideshow to integrate learners' engagement and elaboration during comprehension. It's kind of a great title, but it's very simple. I'm going to talk about it. So, first of all, yeah, it's all a little bit sudden, but I'd like to ask you a question. There's a sentence, reading is something. If you were to fill in one word in this blank, what would you fill in? So, please think about that. Right, so, yes.
Fun.
Reading is fun, yeah. Nice idea. Reading is fun. What else? Any ideas? So,
tiring.
Tiring. Oh, tiring. Yeah, sometimes it's good to be tiring. So now we have seen positive answer and negative answer. Right. Any other?
Educational.
Educational. Yes, exactly. Reading is educational. In the history of human beings, if we weren't able to use languages, we wouldn't have evolved so much for now. So, yeah, reading is absolutely educational and important. So, I'd like to ask earlier, if you were to judge the word that came up to you as either positive or negative or neither neutral, which will be in the category? So, if the word that you think about was positive, could you raise your hand? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. More than one, like 15. Whose word was negative? Whose word was negative? Negative. Okay, 1, 2, 3, thank you. And who was neither positive nor negative? Neutral. 1. Okay, thank you. So, yeah, it depends on people. Many different people have different ideas. But basically, as was shown, reading is positive. What we associate with the word reading or reading books, those are positive, and that's exactly the case. It should be so. Because, like I said, reading enables us to see a new world. Like, reading is very important in order to even survive this time. It is no longer a right, or it is no longer, reading is now a requirement in order to read this modern world. However, as you might have heard in many different places, recently, young people these days doesn't read enough books. Right? They do like smartphones, or they watch internet videos all the time, or those things often said. So in that case, which maybe is not the conclusion about ICT devices like internet, anime, manga, video games. Those things are sometimes said to be distracting reading. Like reading is distracting. So this is one view, and really kind of often we see this kind of view on media. However, in the past, the situation was a little bit different for some people. For example, Seneca, a first-year philosopher who were in ancient Rome, he said, "Distinguit librorum multitum." Wait a second, this is all Greek to me, or maybe I should say this is all Latin to me. So, there we go. He said, "The abundance of books is distraction." So yeah, according to him, books is important. However, if you read too many books, it could distract your mind. So it's kind of opposite to the present view that like extensive reading is really good and important. I'm for the idea of extensive reading, but this kind of idea was also was in about 2 millennia ago. And more radical idea came from Yang Wanli, a 12th century Chinese Zen poet. He said, "Don't read books. When you read books, your eyeballs wither away, leaving the bare surface." So what? So it's kind of surprising to hear. What? Don't read books? But he has the alternative. He has an alternative thing that should be done. So what is it? According to him, this is the answer. It's so much better to close your eyes, sit in your study, lower the curtains, sweep the floor, and burn incense. It's beautiful to listen to the wind, listen to the rain. Take a walk when you feel energetic, and when you're tired, go to sleep. And it's very beautiful, isn't it? And basically, so if I were to add analytical view, and not really analytical view, and yeah, he posits the importance of non-linguistic information. You know, reading is, like linguistic information. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, those things. Linguistic. However, when you read something, you're absorbed in that linguistic field. But he said, look around you. What is happening around you? Use your five senses. See what is happening. Listen what is happening. Also, he didn't say it, but maybe if you can smell, or you can taste, or maybe you can feel your somatic sensation, what you feel in the body. Or all these things could also lead to emotion, how you feel, what is your internal being, like inner world. Those things are to be also to be focused or really valuable. That is basically his idea, according to my interpretation. So let me move quickly to some kind of background. So there are two different ideas. One is that reading is very important, and sometimes those IT technologies can make distract reading. And the latter idea, reading can distract our mindfulness or mindful being. These two ideas are completely opposite, but in a way they are very similar to each other. But what? That is the dichotomy of interest. Dichotomy is like setting A and B completely different. They are two different things. So we have focus of attention. We are living, we have consciousness. So we use attention, and our attentional resource is limited. So we use our limited attentional resource to something. For example, now I'm presenting, so I'm focusing on that presentational atmosphere and intentions rather than like just looking at the window or something. So, and there are different modes of input that you can focus on. One is the non-linguistic information, including all five senses, and kinetic, movement, somatic, what is happening inside the body, and emotion, feelings. Those things are on one side. On the other side, there is linguistic information. You can focus on reading. Or if you are taking chess, it's a really good idea for you to focus on the linguistic information. So those people say, like, this is better, or this is better, in a way. Linguistic information is the important thing, and the non-linguistic, like flashy animation or some sound effect, not necessary. And some people say, yeah, this is important, and like reading or those things are not essential. So this is the dichotomous view. But I would like to oppose, or I would like to say, maybe there should be a new or better model. According to Professor Nelson Coleman, who is a researcher of working memory, he said, in second language use, there is an especially prevalent use of non-linguistic information to complement and support the limited linguistic information available. So this is very clear when you think about the case of intercultural communication. For example, when you see someone whose language you don't know, you will use gestures or facial expressions, and you can point out things. So those non-linguistic cues can sometimes complement and support the limited linguistic information. You know? So these two things are not completely different. Like they are not enemy of each other, but they can work together. So this is my proposition. I think there could be an online integration of skills, which means that you have your own focus of attention, which is limited in its resource amount. You can switch it from the non-linguistic to linguistic quickly. You can switch it quickly, and you can put the two different kinds of information at the same time inside of your working memory or some short-term memory. It's kind of difficult or hard for your working memory. However, if those different modes of information can be mixed and combined, it will be more ecologically valid information. It's more authentic situation, and what is happening outside the classroom. And also it's pragmatic. As Persian semiosis say, the firstness that you have, the firstness or emotion, if those things are completely lacking in your linguistic expression or like thirdness, it will be called So the first list will come from this non-negative information. So my idea is like this. So there should be mutual reference between these two things. And I like to call these mutual reference between non-negative and linguistic information as image. I'm going to talk about it now. A little bit too philosophical, but yeah. In philosophy, image or imagination has also been a long target to study or investigate. According to Henri de Lauzon, one of the greatest philosophers in French, he stated image is an existence, so it's halfway between the thing and the representation. So in an information processing field, we often see things as a subjective representation or something outside of the thing. But the word image is about something between our subjectiveness and objectiveness. So this view is more correspondence with the ecological psychology and like Gibsonian affordance theory, and I think this idea is very good. And also according to Antonio Damasio, neurobiologist, he says images mean mental patterns with the structure built with the token of its sensory modalities: visual, auditory, olfactory, gustatory, and chronosensory. So here, this idea also corresponds with my view of image. So image is not just about our visual information, but something which is happening, our feelings. So the mixture of those different modalities. So those integration or amalgam, and which is subtle and elusive, but is crucially important. That is what I call image. And here goes my proposition. Imaginator. By the way, this drawing was drawn by me, by the way. Imaginator means that you have to use image. Those some elusive, non-linguistic, linguistic, integrated things are to be focused. So that is what I call imaginator, to have learners engage in the imaginative aspects of their cognition. And what are the 3 E's? I'm going to explain. First is educative. So because it is something that is used in educational settings, it should be educative, not just educational, but educationally effective, hopefully. And so that is the premise of it. And secondly, it is electronic. And this concept is LET, language education technology. And also, technology, ICT technology are not the enemy of linguistic information. When you use it effectively, it surely will help understand and complement the ideas of the reading material and listening material and many other things. So we utilize an image sensitivity. And finally, it should be easy to maintain this. Because if some kind of educational software is very efficient and effective, if you have to code, or if you have to do programs in order to make it, it's too difficult for majority of teachers. So it should be easy to make, and accessible to larger amounts of teachers. So let me go to the demonstration. So that was my theoretical. So this is the example sentences of passages. I think I hope you all have the handout. And if you're watching this online or TV or on computers, please stop it and screen capture, and you can see it later. And yeah, this is the example sentence. So suppose you are teaching this reading material to explain this to the student. You're going to use it. What kind of ways you can explain to the students? There are many different ways, like in traditional views, like you can translate these sentences into your native language, or you can parse and analyze the syntactic structure using some like parentheses or something. That's also another idea. Or more graphically, you can use graphic organizers to for students to understand the meaning. But I'd like to propose something different. That is the pre-imaginator. But how to use it? It's very simple and easy. First of all, please open presentation software, such as PowerPoint. And then allocate each slide for each sentence for reading. And then search the images, maybe online, for each slide using keywords, main concepts, or ideas difficult to grasp in the passages. So you can use the reading passage as the keyword to search. And online searching is very recommended if you are not going to make it public, that's copyright. And apply animation if desirable. And finally, save the file, bring the file to the classroom, and present it to the student. So it's this simple. So if you know how to use PowerPoint slides, it's very easy. And here's one idea, not the final form, but one idea. I utilize round. So first of all, we have the learners watch the slideshow while having them guess the content of the sentences. So one by one, you're going to present the slide. And what is this picture for? Pin? Or what is this diagram? Or those things. So activating the student's schema. And after that, you have learners watch the slideshow while having them listen to the CD. So in this case, the inputs are listening and the video. So it's some kind of slideshow, picture slideshow. So let me demonstrate the second round. Please imagine that. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to play sound. So please look at the screen and try to guess what is going to be said. This material is not difficult, but suppose you find difficulty in understanding.
The 21st century has seen an emerging global society.
It's not. It is not. Well, I'm gonna read it. So please pay attention. So if you have CD, it's better to use CD. The 21st century has seen an emerging global society. It is becoming difficult to live without interacting with people from abroad. In order to communicate internationally, it is important to be able to use foreign languages. The next question is how you can acquire foreign language. To answer the question, it is useful to distinguish different language scales and to consider them separately. Usually, language scales are divided into listening, speaking, reading, writing, vocabulary, and grammar. In general, Japanese people are said to be weak at listening and speaking in foreign language, namely in English. It may be because the sound of English and that of Japanese are distant. Then, how can Japanese people improve their listening and reading speaking skill? According to Professor Shuhei Kadoto of Kansai University, shadowing could be the key. Alright, so maybe you can guess why he's my supervisor though. Anyway, so this is the image. These are the pictures, very like micro level, not for the main picture for this passage, but the image for each sentence. And playing the sound and the pictures at the same time, simultaneously. And after that, you can have learners read the sentences while answering the comprehension questions, then explain the meaning of the sentence while using the slide as pins. So again, you play the slides, and for example, you can ask, right? For example, you can use this slide, and there are different language skills. What are they? And some students may not know the answer, but you can, let's say, what is this? This is, like reading. So this can be a hint for students to understand the content. And also, after that, it's also a good idea to have the students practice, including many different kinds of oral reading or shadowing, different things. And that order can be changed. The order can be changed. But I need one item. And there are several theoretical supports. Of course, you should activate the learner's schema, and it is very efficient to facilitate top-down processing. And also, pictorial aid is very effective in second language acquisition. It's very widely perceived view. And also in developmental psychology, it says that imagery, imageal, non-linguistic representation understanding is the basis of our language evolution. Some people say that. And so it could be true. So this is an evolutional account. And also, imagery is reported to be related to more correct memories rather than the faulty. And also, in more pedagogically, the 10 principles of Creel, and the number 3 was like, you should not just focus on words, but also use our different modes like listening and issues and different things. But there's one limitation. It is the trade-off in working with. If you pay attention to too many information at the same time, it is too burdensome for you, and some of the information can slip or cause interference. However, that's why I keep a round system. So if you have the students listen to the CD, watch the slide, read the sentences at the same time, it's impossible. So that's why first phase, you just watch the slide and get to it. And second phase, you're gonna have to listen to it and read the same slide, watch the same slide again, and after that you can move on to reading and do it. So let me move on to the concluding remarks. The 3D imaginizer I explained was basically focused on linguistic information, of course, and auditory information for the listening of that linguistic information. And maybe I use animation, so it's some kind of kinetic information. However, as you can see, there are many other varieties of input or affordance we have. Visual information, olfactory, tactile, gustatory, and kinetic. You can move your body. Also, emotion, feelings. That is what I am studying right now. And emotion, especially micro-level emotion, should have very important, crucial role in our cognition or learning. And yeah, so those things could be incorporated and into more effective, integrative pedagogy. So I'd like to ask you a question. What is your 3D imagine? So that was number one problem. There could be some different ideas to use those linguistic and non-linguistic information at the same time. So how can you do this? So that's the question. Thank you very much for listening.
まずじゃあ何か聞きたい人。
English or Japanese? 一番です。
堅苦しいのは抜きにして、ここはざっくばらんなリアでいきたいという、もうそのままで、はい。名乗りもいらない。
もう実際問題として、もちろんなんていうか、兄弟研究が非常にないので、もうたくさん見てらっしゃる、毎日のことで、なかなか作るのに、どのぐらい時間
今回は若干アニメーションに凝ったのですね、少し時間かかります。でも30分ぐらいです。それに今回は公開されると聞いてますので、極力ですね、コピーライトに引っかからないものですね、選んでますので、それが気にしなかったらですね、もっと簡単に、それこそ、このイメージが取りやすいですね。ものによりますけれど、それぞれ文章ごとにキーワードを調べて、それを検索して写真で貼るというイメージなので、簡単にできます。ものによりますけど、それともう一つ、これやること自身には、先生にもメリットがあると思います。というのは、マテリアルにもよりますけれど、すごく科学的に難しいですね。そういったものの場合には、先生も読みながらちょっとよくわかんないなと思ってるんですけど、そういう時にキーワードとか画像で調べて、こういうやつなんですね、こういうものなんだってイメージをつかんでいれば、それを作りながら先生もより、それに関する体験知識を高めることができるんじゃないかと。そういう意味では、時間がちょっとかかってもですね、それなりに価値があるんじゃないかなというふうに思います。これ
って120とか130ワードなんです。だからなんとなくイメージとしても私たちに分かりやすい。例えば、ニュースペーパーを使う場合、そういう場合に400、500、これを作るときに非常にバックグラウンドを知らないといけない。でも学生そのイメージとしたあれに、非常に時間が必要です。
確かに。そうですね。目的によってはどちらかといえば、イメージとしては、あまりちょっと得意じゃない学生ですね。英語がそんなに倍まで読めない。そういう学生さんをイメージして。 っていうのは、こうやって画面が変わるだけでもすごく目の光りますし、場合によっては本当に、ちょっと授業集中できないなって人でも、イメージが間違いなく集中できるかなっていうイメージ。なので、もしもっと条件に言って、例えば、速読の訓練であるとかですね、新聞読もうと、そうなってきたら、例えば、ある基本的な大事なことだけをこれで説明して、あとはもう違った訓練に切り替える。そういった方が必要かなと。なので、これどっちかといえば、導入というですね、もしくはちょっとプロフェッションシー的に、ですね、今、いい表現考えてますけど、プロフェッション的に配慮が必要な場合には、特に有効かなというふうに思います。ありがとうございます。
他にありますか？今の、やりとりの中で、そもそも私も、こんな、イマージを使った授業をしているっていう方いらっしゃるんですか？はい。してらっしゃる。してらっしゃる。
してますよね。だからそのニュースペーパーとかをパワーポイントで作るときに、ものすごくこう、やっぱり調べて、やっぱり正確なことをこうやらないといけないので、すごく効果はあるとは思うんですけど、学生にもやらせてもらってます。
なるほど。
学生にパワーポイントで、時間がかからない。教師側として教えるのに、それが果たしてテレビでそういうのはいけない。
TPO を正しく使えば、出てくるかなって。ファーストエンゲージメントはこれでできるんじゃないかなと。少なくとも。
よかったらこんな形で。
例えば知的なものを扱うとか、例えばその YouTube とかで、コメ的なものを見つけて、見てたりですとか、それにも多分すごく時間がかかると思うんですけども、あとは先生がサマライズしたものを使って説明するのに一つ何かそういうイメージ的な間に入るものがすごく学習者の負担が減るなっていうのを教えててすごく思うところがあって、小学校で3年間教えてたんですけれども、ほとんどパワポを1時間120枚ぐらい使って、アニメーションとかも使って、例文も使ってやるんですけれども、やっぱりすごくその展開が早く量をこなせるということと、あと1回作ってしまえば次の授業が、1年度からの授業がすごく楽になる。でもそのパワポに従っていけば、その教室内で授業が進むし、次の新しい先生が来たとしても同じ授業、同じクオリティのものを提供できる。あと、板書の時間になるっていう、すごいメリットがたくさんあると思うのと、これだけ同じメディアどんどん進歩しているので、多分教材提示側もそういう教材にどんどん変わっていくと思うんですね。教師側もそういうのをやっていく。
はい、ありがとうございます。何かコメントがありますか？いや、もうね、電子教科書の時代になるようですので、ビジュアルはもう必須条件になるかなと思いますね。検索をするときに何か tips とかありますか？
検索が
もう例えば Google の画像検索で最初から調べてしまう。
場合によっては、その専門分野の人がちょっと関連するような文献というか、解説を見た上で、よりその分野において一番この概念が大事だとか、そういうのが極力それを入れるようにしたりとか、そういうのはあると思うんですけど、そうです。今までやっていたら、あまりそれほど専門的じゃないので、結構イメージしにくいなっていうか、そうですね、イメージしにくいかなっていう単語とか、これがキーになるなっていう単語とか、あるいは文化によって違うものを示す単語、そういったものは重点的にですね、調べて、見せる。
学生さん、すみません。
はい。彼女に、これ、すごいね、インパクトがあるもので、安心したんですけれども、例えばこの、スライドを作るのですね、これは何を使われるんですかね。
これはパワーポイントです。
パワーポイントだけで。
だけです。
彼女だけデジタルネイティブなんですね。私なんかはるか上の世代ですから、どうしても文字で 表題を作ってしまう、この時代ですね。でも、今日の発表で刺激を得たので、もう少しこうイメージであるとか、映像であるとかを使って、今の、それをまさにデータメールというのを学生たちにですね、訴えかけるような表題作りをしていきたいなという思います。だからそういう意味で非常にいい仕事が出たりありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。これだけやりですね。時間かけてくらいですけど、場合によってはもう写真1枚ボンボンボンと貼っていくだけでも、場合によってはイメージ、どんな感じかで想像しやすくなると思うので、そういうのは自分かなと、これ的には。
絵が、ベルグソンとか、ヨー・バンビとかの絵が出てきましたけど、あれは。
自分で描きました。コピーライトがあると思うんで、なぞって描きます。
配慮していただいたら。なるほど。いや、あと時間があれば、先生がおっしゃったような学生さんにやらすっていうのもいいかなと思うんですね。まさにアクティブアングルとしてやってほしいかと思う。時間もと、単元をこなす、どうこなすかの関係とか、そうですね。いろいろ。最後に何か、他に俺はこういうアイデアがあるぞみたいなのがありませんでしょうか。よろしいですか。残念ながらの時間でございますので、それじゃあどうも、ありがとうございました。And next speaker, Mr. Harris, please.あと、ミニドーナツ2つありますけど、欲しい方いらっしゃる。いいですか。早いものだし。
Good afternoon. My name is Harry Carley. First of all, I'd like to apologize for a couple of things. Number one, wikis is not a new thing. If you're familiar with wikis, it's over 10, maybe 15 years old, and you're here, I apologize. Number two, I have a cold. On Tuesday, I almost lost my voice. I was in a big panic. So if I'm coughing or I have a little difficulty with my voice, I apologize. Today, I'd like to talk about wikis. I've used wikis now for about 5 or 6 years. I've been teaching at Matsuyama University for about 7 years now. Before that, I was an ALT for about 20 years. As you can see, I teach at Matsuyama University and also Saibi Senior High School in Matsuyama City. I'd like to talk about wikis and start. Okay, I use wikispaces.com. There are other wikis you can use, but this is when I was doing my second MA in Education Technology. One of the instructors used wikispaces.com, and that's what I'm familiar with. It's very easy to use, and of course, the main thing is it's safe and secure. It's password protected. You can do it either 2 ways. I like to have one password. We use my password and I give it to the students. You can also have it with students having their own passwords, But then, of course, they occasionally, and they forget their passwords. So after the first couple times, I had one password, rule them all, kind of like the Lord of the Rings thing. And I use that, and it works the best way. Anytime you can change the password, and so there's no problem there with security. Like I say, it's very safe and secure. In the 6 years I've been using this, there's no spam or outside viruses coming in. No one's been attacked or anything. Of course, also when using the wiki, I advise students not to give out any personal information or any addresses. My tasks that I use in the courses don't require any information like that. So as I said, it's never been a problem. Safe and secure, and also very reliable. Features included, but not limited to, on the wiki, you can put images, pictures of any kind, maps, videos, YouTube videos will be downloaded and put onto the wikis. You can link to other pages, and there's also numerous other features, some of which I never used. There's graphing and some other features which have never come up in my courses. Of course, all of this is in a paperless format. In my courses now, for at least 5 years, I teach 9 classes at Matsuyama University. I use no paper, not a single piece of paper. They're all through wikis, and I also use blended learning, so there is a text. But for the projects and tests I use on wikis, there is no paper, and there's no need. You can see here's wiki. This is a sample wiki page. This is mine that I have the students, they introduce themselves, and I show them how to use wikis. At the top here, you can see there are many features. This will make the text bold, italic, underline. You can change the color and the text of it. And then also over to the files, which is pictures. And then in the widgets, which you press, you can do all the videos and maps and things like that. And then of course, then there's always the save, and that will save the information. Also, you can see here, throughout the use of the wikis, they're automatically saved. So if a student forgets or something happens, the wiki is automatically saved. After a large amount of data, I still just, as a backup, I say, okay, why don't we go ahead and save what we've done, and still. But it is automatically saved. That's a good feature. This is the widget page. The widget page that I just talked about. You can see there's videos, education, graphing, slideshow, bookmarks. You can link to other pages. There are many, many features. Student work, of course, can be undertaken individually, which I usually do, or collaboratively. They can work on, for example, if it's a writing course, they can be making a story. 2 people can be making a story at the same time. So 2 people can be working on one wiki at the same time, editing, and it will save and automatically save. So there's single tasks, maybe a single task. For example, introduce yourself. Hello, my name is Daidai. I'm from Matsuyama City, and here's some pictures, and here's a map of where I live, a Google map. Larger projects, for example, I don't give tests in my class. Students are required to do presentations, in a presentation format. And so, of course, we use the wiki. Right now, we're working on presentation number 1. And all the students have been given a prefecture, not where they live in. So it's for Matsuyama, most of the prefectures are in the north, Tohoku, maybe down south, Okinawa, but there's no prefectures on Shikoku, because that's where most of my students come from. So they're learning new information. They'll get presentation number 1, and this is very simple because at the same time, I'm teaching them how to use a wiki. How to save the pictures. There are some little mistakes that you make. They don't save the code right. So the presentation number 1 is designed to be simple and easy, but it's also designed that they're learning the wiki. Then from then on, presentation number 2 and 3, depending on the class, could be a country, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, or some other thing, some other place that or person that goes into the class itself. Depends if it's a writing class, a beginning English class, more advanced. It's up to you. That's another good feature about the wiki, is that you can design and make any task or project that you would like. Work can be self-paced. The instructor acting as facilitator. Students can claim ownership because it is a lot of independent work. They have to find the pictures, they have to find the map, they have to find videos, and of course, a big benefit is it allows for outside use. A wiki can be accessed on any computing device, their iPad or their iPhone, so they can be doing this on the bus or on the train on the way to school. If I give them a task or assignment, they can be practicing their presentation. So it allows for in-class and outside work also. These are some of the examples of courses that I've used. A wiki, I use it in the senior high school for the sighted students, beginning, intermediate, advanced English courses of all type. JC is the junior college, Monsignor Junior College, and also Monsignor University. Throughout the week, the lesson, as I mentioned, the wiki is automatically saved. Of course, it is still best to save from time to time. I'm a little nervous about that, but I've never had it. Then also another very good feature, if it's a writing course or something such as blogging, which you can do on a wiki, comments can be added by other students or the instructors myself. So here you can see first I needed to highlight this, and then I press comment, and then you can write something, and then save it, and then here actually there are 2 comments that I made on my page, and there'll be this little sign. So when a student comes in, they can click this, and they'll see my comment or comments from another student if it's a blogging. So this is a very good example. And this started in the last couple of years. We didn't have this originally. Very good. Especially for the writing courses. And mentioning writing courses, that's another good example. It's very beneficial in electronic format. I had a small class of 118 students. My large class was 160. And I thought, well, I'm going to carry around 160 textbooks or notebooks, and this is where wikis came in. It was very, very beneficial. The 160 student class was a beginning non-English major class, teaching them how to make sentences, using question words. It was very easy for me to comment when we started making paragraphs. It was very, very beneficial. Also, other courses that I've utilized in some form are TOEIC and TOEIC Bridge classes. In this example, I had, when I started doing the TOEIC, I had a TOEIC prep class. It was Monday morning at 8:30 for about 20 non-English majors who were all interested in sports. When we started doing the TOEIC, I had a TOEIC test practice. Some of the students, halfway through the TOEIC test, gave up. They just pushed it aside and fell asleep on the desk. They didn't care. In another example, I had a girl, a student, who I was helping, and the TOEIC was very frustrating for them. And it was very painful, literally, because she took her pencil and stabbed me right in the hand. And this is the second week. I'm not going to survive 15 weeks. We have to do something. And what I did is they made a TOEIC test. We went from a traditional classroom. I went to the office and said, oh, please, I need a computer room open. And we went to the computer room, and I helped them design TOEIC tests. So they had to learn the question words, We downloaded pictures. What is this? This is a dog, this is a cat. We expanded on that, and then also using videos and other features to help them learn coding. My attendance before that was just going down, down, down. It was 20 students, then it went down to 10, and it looked like it was going to go down even further. But when we went to the computer room, the motivation went up, and attendance almost went back to 100%. It was a very good motivator and very helpful in coding and coding bridge classes. We still did some other traditional work, but helping them just on hands access was very beneficial. Of course, as I mentioned, also writing individually, they can write on their own or they can work together. I've also used this in business classes. I had again 20 students. It was business English. And part of the course, I had them in pairs design a company. So they had to make a slogan and different things. I told them how many people were working for their company. And so I did things like that. And again, it was very beneficial. It was just part of the course, but it was very good for that. And they commented on teacher-student evaluations. They were very interested. And then also, as I mentioned, presentations. I give a lot of presentations. I do not like giving written tests, especially if it's a conversational type-based course. So they all give presentations. And as I mentioned, presentations I've included Japan, the conventions or festivals or many other things, countries of the world, people, world leaders, important people of history, and others. Also, UNESCO World Heritage Sites, environmental issues, not only the problems, but the solutions. How can we solve this? And does this solution work? Does solar energy really work? Okay? And that would be, of course, a more advanced type course. Famous tourist attractions inside outside of Japan, and then again also. Wikis allow for creativity is allowed by the instructors as well as the students. They're given some tasks, but they're pretty free rein as how they complete those tasks. Students can learn language skills, which I'm very happy about. Learn language skills as well as computer skills, as well as presentation skills. So I'm kind of three things wrapped into one. It's not just basic English. And also awareness of the world that they live in. So in some ways, that's 4 features in one course. Again, emphasizing all this can be accomplished in a paperless format. I've written 2 or 3 papers on not using paper, and I'm very big on that. These days, there's no reason to be using paper or giving handouts, hundreds of handouts, those sort of ways. And I thank you. And now I'm going to switch over to the internet, and if we have some time, I can briefly show you some wikis that I've used. But quickly, this is my email address, and also I'm on researchgate.net or .com. I have 40 or so papers that have been published on a variety of things. Okay, so now I'm going to close this. Okay, and then I will switch to the internet. And so this is my dashboard. See, you will log in. This is the typical wiki spaces. Here I'm logged in, but this will say sign in. It usually says sign in, and that's where you put, there'll be a little box, like the traditional kind. It says password and username, and I've given that to the students, and we sign in, and then it goes to my wikis, and these are the courses. And then also another feature, I just have a wiki for me, and it's also for the students, but as the Harry teacher, it has a list of things, maybe course requirements, or some books I use, they need extra features. they need the dialogue, is it typed out or something? So this is where we go to access these features. We can practice dialogue from text or other things. So I have my own page of the wiki. Then also, these are some of the courses. Of course, this is Side Senior High School. Side Senior High School, they go to Australia in the intensive English course that I'm part of. They go to Australia for 3 weeks. They have a homestay, and they have classes at Sydney University, and then also do some touring. So before that is a lot. In their second year, they'll go in November. So now we're really intensive on the English and homestay. And I also help them make their own little wiki page that will eventually print out and help them describing to their homestay families. Some students have very good English and some are rather low. So we make this paper just describing some of their features, their personal, their family life, where they're from, what they like to do. And like I say, we'll work on this for a couple lessons, save it, and then before they go to Australia in November, they print it out and they can take it, and they can give it to their host family if they need, and then share and explain. Of course, many people were from Matsuyama, Ehime Prefecture, in Shikoku, Japan, and many people don't know, oh, where's that? And so this is very helpful. I'll only show you my pages, and for privacy issues, I won't show you. Students, we do the wikis at the same time. So I'm explaining the wiki, and at the same time, I will be making a wiki page. So this is basically what the students look like. This is for the Side Senior High School students. Another wiki. This is a Matsuyama University class. As I mentioned, currently we're working on presentation number 1. We briefly started with our introduction, and then presentation number 1. And so they all have a prefecture, as I mentioned, not where they live. They're mostly Hokkaido, Tohoku area. And we'll have presentation number, I think this is the beginning class, the beginning classes. So they found a map. They got the population, some general information, 3 famous foods, famous places to visit for each of their prefectures, and they need to type 1 or 2 sentences. A problem, of course, is that they just copy from the internet. They'll find Wakayama Prefecture and then copy 2 or 3 sentences. And I said, no. And you can usually tell right away, especially if it's a beginning class. No. Please type and make your own sentences. What is this? And they'll do that. They'll work on that. So the 3 places, there's also 3 festivals. And highest mountain and longest river, and then also videos. And as you can see, the video you can take right from YouTube, you copy the code, and it'll play right on your wiki. This goes on for a few minutes, but this is Wakayama Prefecture. So it's a very good feature. Depending on the class you have, it works very well. Describing themselves, maybe I can ask them, oh, okay, do you have who's your favorite music artist, right? We use the videos and download those. This is another class. This. Okay, this class is also working on a similar project. They're working on the Japan prefecture project for presentation number 1. As I mentioned, the first project I use is to help them understand the wikis themselves. downloading pictures, videos, maps, things like that. From then on, presentation number 2 and 3, I branch out depending on the course, whether advanced, what type of course is it? Is it a travel English course? Many different things. Okay, so I don't go over. Are there any questions or comments you would like to say?
Now we have only 5 minutes.
Yes.
I saw this presentation with a lot of people. Now the students, do they have to take their own picture and put it in there, or can they copy and paste from the internet?
Yes, that's what it is. It's copy and paste from the internet. We go to Google Images, they type in, for example, I typed in Kikuma, Ehime, Japan, and that's where I got these pictures. And the video, they go to YouTube, and the same thing. It's all individual. That's what type of situation.
Is Wiki another is this something that you have to install in your computer, or?
No. Just as I've done today, you access us from the internet. It's free. It's free from educators. The first time you log into wikis and register, they will ask you a few questions, like what is your university, what school, what level are you teaching, primary school or senior high school. Also, I can mention that you can type in Japanese or any other language. The interface, as far as I know, can be changed, so it'll be in English. But if you have a German course, I've shared this with other teachers, a Spanish teacher, any other course, you can use it for weeks. Especially the graphs.
Is there anyone for another question? Or comments?
Thank you for the presentation. I'm also teaching English at university. So sometimes the universities have their own e-learning system, and in which there are some wiki functions included. So I find you might also familiar with those in-school. Do you think why you should choose to use the not the outside of the university?
Outside the university, Mazioni University are very strict about security and accessing their internet, and as I mentioned, I started this in my graduate courses. That's how I became familiar with this. So I just hung on to this, and it worked for me. And it is worth being separate. If you have a university internet system, then maybe the access will be easier. Yes, wikispaces.com, and that'll get you there.
Will the all information with students or you put into the wiki be open to the public?
No, it is not open to the public. Once you, in the beginning, when you register, it gives you 3 choices. Open to the public, secure, and then there's a 3rd choice where no one sees it but you and your students. I always take the 3rd choice. So if you went looking for this page, you will not find it on the internet. And that's another reason that I chose it. I wanted safe and secure, no outside, for example, if someone does put their address or phone number, like I said, there's never been any spam, never been attacked in 6 or 7 years, there's never been any viruses. That was a big feature, and I control it with my password and my username.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we have the awareness with
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. はい、ということで、今回のクラスのキッズはこれでおしまいです。皆さんありがとうございました。次もこういうクラスのキッズ続けてほしいという意見があれば、ぜひお寄せください。支部の方が。続きましてはですね、10分からですね、もう始まりますが、お隣、先ほどの進歩のあった会合で支部総会が行われます。20分から、それからその後はまた2時から、この周りの部屋で研究発表会を行います。よろしくお願いします。